Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Tell me something that makes a bubble bath even more enjoyable.
Candles.
It was going so well until...
How about some toys?
Family Feud.
Brought to you by We Are the Caring Store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Make a move now, make a move now.
Hi everyone, my name is Kurt Dunn.
Greetings from Kelly's Kelly Yoga.
Hey, it's Travin Morrison, and I am your National Physical Activity Specialist. And it's time to make a move.
Jamaica, let's get moving again. Season 2 of the Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica Move series is here. Join us Wednesdays at 5 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on CVM TV. Let's get moving.
Make a move now.
It's Tuesday, November 12, 2024. This is CVM News at noon. I'm Ramon Gordon. The Westmoreland police are investigating the fatal shooting of 28-year-old Iwayne Bennett, also known as Mad Dog, and the wounding of another man inside a bar in Petersfield on Sunday night. Bennett, originally from St. James, had relocated to Petersfield years ago after gang violence forced his family to flee. Reports indicate Bennett and two others were playing a poker machine when a gunman entered, opened fire, and fled. Bennett was later found dead in a nearby swamp, while the injured man was taken to the hospital and he remains there in serious condition. Westmoreland Custos Hartley Perrin has urged residents to work with the police to curb crime.
There is cause again for concern, and it signals to us that there is still work to be done. And the citizens of Westmoreland ought to realize that they will have to do their part in ensuring that when criminals behave as they do, they furnish information to the police, and even before, if possible, so that these persons can be apprehended and brought to justice.
In St. James, a businesswoman, Althea Graham Dolly, was fatally attacked in broad daylight on Sunday while leaving home for church. A prominent figure in the banking community, her death has shocked the parish. Here's more.
Let me start off by offering my condolences to the family and the friends of Miss Graham Dolly. The boat community is not used to these kinds of things that we're seeing here today. It has sent shockwaves across the community and persons are concerned. However, I am confident in the ability of the police to solve this crime. I'm imploring that the citizens and persons that have information on what has happened here, please share it with the police so that we can deal with this matter quickly.
Several popular restaurants in Fairview St. James were closed today for alleged health violations. Some reopened shortly after addressing these issues. CVM News spoke with Dr. Francine Phillips-Kelly, the parish's medical officer, who says the health department plans to investigate all food establishments in the area.
The St. James Health Services have been on a drive starting today of zero tolerance in respect of food establishments that do not meet the specifications in respect of public health. law. It will continue until we have covered all of the food establishments that we have in that particular health district, which is the Catherine Hall Health District.
The Jamaica Labour Party is criticizing the People's National Party for skipping the upcoming by-elections, accusing them of tall talk over action. MP Floyd Green led the charge at the JLP Area Council 1 meeting recently.
Hold the other side open door as they get ready. So they inform, so they can be this party. I want to call election, they have the election. We call election that easy and they hide from the election. We call election so clearly and they hide from the election. We say, oh, we are going to happen and they hide from the election. They were not thoroughbred. They never finished it. But then they understand they have behind. Because they know that all them full of is talk, not action.
Thursday, November 14 is World Diabetes Day. Representatives from the 2024-2025 Master of Public Health cohort at U's Department of Community Health Psychiatry announced on Sunrise this morning that they will host a World Diabetes Day fair under the theme Empowering Global Health, Stepping Beyond Diabetes.
So one of the things I want to start with is just highlighting that diabetes is what Jamaicans would call sugar. Right? So that's the first thing. And some of the ways that we can prevent it before the onset of diabetes is through lifestyle changes. So these need to be something that you can do every day for the rest of your life. And that is one of the things that we're promoting with our health fair. So that includes your 30 minutes of exercise daily. And these are things that you can do at home. You can use your workout videos. You guys have a lovely program in the mornings with Camilla. But also, if you're not home at that time, you can watch YouTube videos, etc. You're skipping, you're walking in the park. You can walk in Emancipation Park. You can walk around a yard. But it also involves swapping out unhealthy eating habits for healthier options. So decreasing your sugar consumption to about 6 teaspoons of sugar per day, which is really difficult for a lot of persons to do, but that is the actual recommendation. And it also includes restricting and maintaining a healthy weight, which in the Jamaican context is a little cultural, because for us, you know, we like to have a little flesh on our bones, but it has been, research has found that at least 10% in weight loss, so you don't even have to be at a normal weight, but at least 10% in weight loss has actually decreased your risk of developing diabetes.
We are having a component, Cashel heading the clinical aspect. We're going to be doing blood pressure, blood sugar checks. We're going to be doing BMI screening, and we're going to be going deeper. We're going to be doing nutrition counseling. We're going to be doing oral health education. We're going to be doing mental health counseling, because diabetes does not just affect a singular organ. It's all things, and it's a holistic thing that we want to ensure that everything is targeted.
And Professor of Sedimentary Geology, Simon Mitchell, says there's no need to panic over the 2 earthquakes felt on Sunday morning. He explains that while the earthquake intensity was a concern, Sunday's events were simply shocks and aftershocks.
What happened on Sunday, what we had there was we had, to begin with, a smaller earthquake. The unit measured at 5.6, the USGS had it at 5.9, and they have stations around the whole region, so I would probably go with that. That fault failed, and it created this earthquake. Now the stress was immediately put further along the fault.
Yes.
That then failed and gave a bigger earthquake. So the first one was a pre-shock, and it led to basically increased stress on another part of the fault, which failed almost immediately as well.
Yes.
1 hour and 1 minute later. So in that case, the first earthquake basically led to the second one.
Stay with us. Our discussion segment is next.
Family of Pharmacies, your trusted partner in health and wellness for over 30 years. With 8 convenient pharmacies across Eastern Jamaica. SuperMed Mall Pharmacy, SuperMed New Kingston, SuperMed Pepine, SuperMed Port Antonio Pharmacies 1 and 2, Claire's St. Mary, Lloyd's St. Thomas, and a convenient drive-through at our Hughenden location where you can get your medication without leaving your car. We're dedicated to providing you with the highest level of care. Experience the difference with SuperMed family of pharmacies. Super happy, super healthy.
And you go down and have a good day. Blessing. SuperMed.
Turn your dreams into reality with the Overseas Examinations Commission. Take the next step towards success. Register as a private candidate for June 2025 CXC exams. Complete our e-application form via our website, overseasexams.org.jm. Take the completed form to our office in Kingston or Montego Bay. Payments accepted via debit or credit card only. Deadline Friday, November 29, 2024. Call us today at 876-618-3721. Follow us on social media at Overseas Exams, the OEC, Jamaica's Examinations Hub.
No more fear of missing out. CVM TV News is on YouTube. Get up-to-date news, sports, and business content at CVM TV News anytime, anywhere. Subscribe now to CVM TV News to see it happen.
Welcome back. You're watching CVM News at noon. It's now time for our discussion segment. The Take a Child Home for Christmas program is not new, and as the holiday season approaches, Jamaicans are encouraged to host a child or award of the state for a day during the holiday season. The public has reacted, questioning whether or not this is in the best interest of Jamaica's children. Joining me to discuss this is Jamaica's children's advocate, Mrs. Diane Gordon Harrison. Mrs. Gordon Harrison, again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Right out the gate, I have to ask you, where do you stand on the matter? Do you support the initiative?
Well, I have taken note of the initiative over the last several years, and I understand that it is well-intentioned. The popular thought, which I think is the principle behind it, is that the agency that operates that particular program thought that, it would be great relief to have a child removed from an institution and be within the breast or the arms of a loving family for the particular holiday. That being said, however, I have had my concerns with regard to, just how does that child who has the glimpse of what it's like to be in a loving home and family, particularly during the holidays, how does that child transition back into an institution post the holidays? So as I said, I believe it's very well intentioned, but when you have a deeper look at it, it raises, I believe, special circumstances that would have to be addressed to ensure that the transition back into the space is not, in fact, psychologically disturbing or inflicting any kind of anxiety that the child who has to go back may face.
Mrs. Gordon Harrison, this has become a very popular conversation on social media, and many have said that this program may cause more harm than good. You mentioned some potential psychological impacts. What are some other concerns that linger?
Well, just in terms of transitioning back to life as this child knows it, knowing now that there are other options that perhaps may be better suited for them. I think the country has long announced, certainly within the last 2 years or so, that having children in families is always the preferred option as opposed to an institution. So we have indicated that there's a thrust away from institutionalization. And so when you whet the appetite of a child, taking that child outside of the institution and taking them to your home, for example, Raman, and showing them what it's like to be in a family, it makes it very difficult. And so when I say psychological, I'm not necessarily speaking about deep-seated issues,
Sure.
But mental health really is a wide range. So the child could be sad going back to the institution, or may be depressed, or may have some anxiety, or may feel as if they're missing out. And all of these feelings are valid, and if not supported and attended to, I think with the proper intervention, it could lead to problems. So for instance, my own view is that, as I said, because it's a well-intentioned, they mean well by it, questions arise such as when they're transitioning back, that's the children, is there ongoing psychological support to help them, have that sounding board, if you will, to air any issues or concerns that they may have, any feelings of, oh boy, here it is, I'm back in an institution again, and feelings of dismay or despair that they may have. But it does, I think, fairly so, sharply bring into focus whether all the children who are so placed temporarily for a day or two, whether their best interests are being fully served within the construct of the program.
I think some persons have really found it hard to justify the model. So do you think it can be...
I'm not hearing you well.
Forgive me, technology, right? Some persons have expressed some concern with the model. One child going to a particular family and then trying to reintegrate that child back into the system. Could they perhaps explore a different way to execute the initiative?
I think there are always different ways to do it. I would think, for example, because the foster care program is a program that already exists and is more long-term, if you will. It's not just a placement for a day, but there could perhaps be some consideration to build out, having foster parents, perhaps new ones. Probably we don't have enough foster placements. Maybe that's it. But looking at more permanent placements that really serve to remove children from the institutions, ones that can be done in a very safe and cohesive manner so that the disruptions are kept at a minimum.
Fantastic. We're almost upon the Yuletide season, and your office, of course, I'm sure is always busy. But around this time, are there any particular concerns that come to the fore that you'd mind sharing with us right now?
Right. So the first one really is the whole issue of mental health. We have many people who see Christmas as a happy time, but we have many people who have trauma associated with Christmas. And so through Safe Spot, that's the Child and Teen Helpline that the Office of the Children's Advocate operates on a 24-hour basis, we're always concerned about children and teens who reach out to us because of some trauma that they have associated with Christmas, which makes it a very difficult time. Some of them have lost parents, in tragic circumstances or by natural causes. Some of them don't feel as if they're getting the gifts that their friends are getting or people in their classes are getting. And so they get very, very somber at this particular time because they're comparing, the haves versus the have-nots. And so for me, one of the things that we really pay attention to is the ability of children and teenagers to cope at this time if they have any concerns that magnify, feelings of less than that sometimes come to the fore at this time. The other thing that we're very focused on as well at this time is supporting particularly those children who have participated in our therapeutic summer camps, ensuring that they have a good Christmas, they and their families, And so we are currently doing our assessment, as we always do, for the care packages for these children and their families to ensure that they can enjoy the Yuletide season as best as possible. And then the daily job continues in terms of any particular issues that may arise that may require legal or investigative support.
Brilliant, such great work from your office as always. But beyond your efforts, how can the community get involved? Where do we stand in the matter of child safety, protection, and empowerment even?
Right. So, of course, child protection, child safeguarding, just really ensuring that our children are best served is everybody's business. So I always encourage persons not to be passive observers, but to be willing to speak up, whether confidentially or otherwise, if you recognize that there is a child who's in difficult circumstances or who you suspect is in difficult circumstances, so that an intervention can be made in good time. So the best kind of support I think members of the public can give is to first recognize that they are foot soldiers, they are the eyes and the ears of the institutions in their communities, and we ask them to use their eyes and ears very usefully to assist us with disrupting any unsavory conditions that may attach to children and may put their circumstances in jeopardy.
Fantastic. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. That was, of course, Diane Gordon Harrison, children's advocate and, of course, attorney at law. Moving on to international news, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, has resigned after a report revealed a cover-up of child abuse by a man linked to the Church of England. Welby admitted that in 2013 he wrongly believed a police report on the matter would have led to action. Here's more from the BBC.